Good afternoon. This is All India Radio and I'm Anuja Kumar with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to leave for Rwanda in a short while from now on the first leg of his three-nation visit to Africa. Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Second Amendment Bill 2018 and Criminal Law Amendment Bill introduced in Lok Sabha. Centre tells Supreme Court that live streaming of judicial proceedings can be undertaken on a trial basis in constitutional matters. Apex Court agrees to hear pleas seeking contempt action against Rajasthan government in the recent mob lynching case at Alwar. And in Afghanistan, death toll from yesterday's suicide attack near Kabul International Airport rises to 23. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is leaving for Rwandan capital Kigali this afternoon on the first leg of his 5-day three-nation visit to Africa. This will be the first ever visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Rwanda. During his stay, Mr. Modi will hold delegation-level talks with Rwandan President Paul Kagame. He will also visit the Kigali Genocide Memorial and participate in an event on Girinka, a national social protection scheme of Rwanda. Secretary, Economic Relations and External Affairs Ministry, T.S. Tirumurti said Mr. Modi will also have an interaction with the Indian community.
This is a historic visit. It will be the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Rwanda. Rwanda is an important gateway to Eastern Africa, and we have elevated our bilateral relations with Rwanda to the level of a strategic partnership.
On the second leg, Mr. Modi will visit Uganda, which will be the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to the country in over 20 years. During his 2-day stay in capital Kampala, Mr. Modi will hold talks with the country's leadership and deliver the keynote address at the Ugandan Parliament, the first Indian Prime Minister to do so. On the final leg, Mr. Modi will reach Johannesburg, South Africa, to attend the 10th BRICS Summit. The core agenda of the summit is inclusive growth, sustainable development, health and vaccine, peacekeeping, among others. On the sidelines of the summit, Mr. Modi is expected to hold bilateral meetings with the leaders of the participating nations. Our correspondent covering the Prime Minister's visit has filed this report.
Africa has been a top priority area of India's foreign policy, and over the last few years, engagement in various fields with African countries have intensified significantly. During this visit, a number of agreements and MOUs in defense, trade, culture, agriculture and dairy cooperation are scheduled to be signed. India shares warm and friendly relations with Africa, and this visit of the Indian Prime Minister will further strengthen India's relation with the African continent. This is Reena Sonowal, AIR News.
Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Second Amendment Bill 2018 and Criminal Law Amendment Bill were introduced in Lok Sabha today. Finance Minister Piyush Goyal introduced the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Bill in the Lok Sabha, which brings about significant changes to improve the insolvency resolution framework in the country. Mr. Goyal said the laws of recovering the loan in the time of the previous governments were very weak and the loans were not recovered from what he called the big ones. Mr. Goyal said Prime Minister Narendra Modi had spoken about the dire financial stress that the Indian banking system was facing because of indiscriminate and absolutely baseless lending that happened during the period of 2008 to 2014. Opposing introduction of the bill, Bhartohari Mahtab of BJD raised the point regarding the provision of the bill related to the reduction of voting threshold on the creditors' committee. In the Lok Sabha today, the Criminal Law Amendment Bill, which was also introduced, the bill introduced by Minister of State for Home Kiran Rijiju replaces Criminal Law Amendment Ordinance. It amends the Indian Penal Code 1860 to increase the minimum punishment for rape of women from 7 years to 10 years. Rape and gang rape of girls below the age of 12 years will carry minimum imprisonment of 20 years and is extendable to life imprisonment or death. Rape of girls below the age of 16 years is punishable with imprisonment of 20 years or life imprisonment. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Anant Kumar today took a dig at the Congress Working Committee's move of pitching party President Rahul Gandhi as opposition's prime ministerial candidate for the next year's general elections. Talking to media outside Parliament, Mr. Kumar said such an attempt will bring what he called earthquake in the opposition camp. On the Rafale deal, the minister said Defence Minister has already made it clear in Parliament about the agreement between India and France. Mr. Kumar said the government made the deal in the best interest of the country.
Already our Defence Minister on the floor of the House has very clearly said about the Rafale agreement between India and France, and now they want to rake up a non-issue with baseless charges. Government has made this agreement in the most transparent way in the nation's interest.
Congress has alleged that Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has misled the country in revealing the pricing of Rafale aircraft. Briefing media in New Delhi this afternoon, party spokesperson Randeep Surjewala said the 2008 confidential agreement is publicly available and it only prevents disclosing the weapons and other specifications of the aircraft and not the price. Government has taken note of a media report about predatory journals that claim to be international and publish papers for a listed charge or fee. Replying to supplementaries in the Lok Sabha today, HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar said the government will rectify the things related to such journals. He said the ministry will review the list of journals in the next 3 months.
We are asking now all the universities to review their recommendations about the journals to be recommended as UGC journals to be recognized for promotion and for accreditation. Those recommendations universities should review by 30th of August. And as far as plagiarism is concerned, we have already taken a step where we have mandated all universities to scan each PhD thesis submitted through a software. And third, we have revised the API score for promotion of college teachers.
TDP MPs staged a protest in front of Mahatma Gandhi's statue in Parliament today over special category status to Andhra Pradesh. Displaying placards, the MPs pressed for their demands. They said they will continue their protest both inside and outside Parliament. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. The Centre today told the Supreme Court that video recording and live streaming of judicial proceedings can be undertaken on a trial basis in constitutional matters being heard by the Court of Chief Justice of India. A bench headed by CJI Deepak Mishra was told by Attorney General K.K. Venugopal that live streaming can be undertaken on an experimental basis for 1 to 3 months to ascertain how to function technologically. The bench has fixed the matter for further hearing on the 30th of this month. The Apex Court today agreed to hear the pleas seeking contempt action against the Rajasthan government in the recent mob lynching case at Alwar. The pleas allege that incidents of mob lynching and vigilantism were taking place despite a verdict by the Supreme Court in this regard. A bench headed by Chief Justice Deepak Mishra said it would hear the petitions on the 28th of next month. The Apex Court had earlier this month asked Parliament to consider enacting a new law to effectively deal with incidents of mob lynching. Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari will launch development projects worth over 5,400 crore rupees in Guna district of Madhya Pradesh today. Our correspondent reports that the state government is today celebrating Vikas Parv or Developmental Festival and Farmers Convention.
Shri Gadkari is to inaugurate 188 kilometers of newly constructed road of 3 national highways and also lay the foundation stone for 226 kilometer road of 2 other national highways in a function held at Lal Parade Ground, Guna, just after a short while now. He will also distribute 83,700 lakh rupees to the beneficiaries of various schemes, including Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan and other senior ministers of his cabinet will also be present on the occasion. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
The central government's Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana is transforming the rural youth into an economically independent and globally relevant workforce. The scheme is part of the National Rural Livelihood Mission, tasked with the dual objectives of adding diversity to the income of rural poor families and cater to the career aspirations of youth belonging to rural areas. Here is a ground report from our Dharwad correspondent on how the scheme has opened up several employment opportunities for the unemployed youth.
World-class quality program being conducted through Gramina Kushala Kendra set up in East District of the state. Umesh, who has trained in Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramina Kushala Kendra at Dharwad, got his placement and he is very happy about the training.
हमने जिला में पूरा 3 महीना ट्रेनिंग दिया है, पूरा कंप्यूटर के बारे में पूरा सीख लिया और बेसिक इंग्लिश के बारे में सीख लिया। 3 महीने होने के बाद वहाँ पे बेंगलुरु में एक नौकरी भी दिया है।
Sadiq, a beneficiary of skill development program at Vijaypur district DDGKY, says training has helped him to become economically independent.
ये एक महत्वपूर्ण योजना है। ये ग्रामीण जो भाग के युवक युवतियों को बहुत बड़ा बेनिफिट मिल रहा है। इधर हमारा सब्जेक्ट है हार्डवेयर, बीपीओ और सॉफ्ट स्किल। ट्रेनिंग तो अच्छा मिल रहा है।
Mr. Naushad, who is under training, says this program is very useful for unemployed and good opportunity for BPL card students.
मैं यहाँ ट्रेनिंग ले रही हूँ। DDGKY में हर तरह का फैसिलिटी देते हैं। यहाँ पे रहने का, खाने का टोटल फ्री में फैसिलिटी देते हैं। तो यहाँ BPL कार्ड वाले स्टूडेंट के लिए गुड अपॉर्चुनिटी है।
This scheme has helped youth, especially rural youth who are below poverty line, to cope up with the present competitive world and made them independent. Arati Devashikhamani reporting from AIR Dharwad.
In Himachal Pradesh, 5 people were today killed when a fire broke out due to a gas cylinder explosion at a residential building in Mandi district today. 3 people were also injured. More from our correspondent.
The incident occurred early this morning around 4:30 a.m. in a residential area at Nair Chowk in Midday district today. As soon as the information received, the fire tenders reached the spot to douse the fire. According to sources, LPG cylinder blast due to the short circuit in AC seems to be the reason behind the fire. Due to suffocation, 5 people died in this incident, including 1 child. All deceased are stated to be relatives who came to attend the marriage ceremony. Sanjeev Sundaryal, AIR News, Shimla.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today paid tribute to freedom fighter Bal Gangadhar Tilak on his birth anniversary. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, Lokmanya Tilak successfully mobilized people from all sections of society and deepened the connect between citizens and India's glorious past. Mr. Modi also paid tribute to freedom fighter Chandrasekhar Azad on his birth anniversary. In a tweet, he said, a brave son of Bharat Mata, Azad sacrificed himself so that his fellow citizens get freedom from colonialism. In Afghanistan, death toll from yesterday's suicide attack near Kabul International Airport has risen to 23. The Health Ministry today said at least 107 people were wounded in the explosion. The blast occurred when scores of people were leaving the airport after welcoming Afghan Vice President Abdul Rashid Dostum home from exile. Dostum narrowly escaped the attack. The attack was claimed by the Islamic State terror group. The News Services Division of All India Radio in its weekly bilingual live phone-in program Public Speak will bring you a discussion tonight on fake news and government's actions to curb it. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. Listeners can ask questions to the experts in our studio on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. Domestic stock markets extended previous sessions gains in afternoon trade today amid mixed global markets. The Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange climbed 124 points to 36,620, while the Nifty at the National Stock Exchange surged 43 points to 11,053. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to leave for Rwanda on the first leg of his 3-nation visit to Africa. Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Second Amendment Bill 2018 and Criminal Law Amendment Bill introduced in Lok Sabha. Centre tells Supreme Court that live streaming of judicial proceedings can be undertaken on a trial basis in constitutional matters. Apex Court agrees to hear pleas seeking contempt action against Rajasthan government in the recent mob lynching case at Alwar. In Afghanistan, death toll from yesterday's suicide attack near Kabul International Airport rises to 23. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.nic.in. And with that, we end the Midday News.